Welcome to episode 10 of Water Polo World. In this edition, in-depth coverage of the under-16 men and women European Championships. In a city steeped in history, a new kind of legacy was being written. Straddling the border of Europe and Asia, Istanbul stood as the perfect crossroads for the continent's fiercest under-16 women's water polo talent. From early battles to rising rivalries, the path to glory narrowed, leading us to the decisive final clashes. It was all leading to the moment where only a few could chase the crown. Wednesday's first semi-final saw Greece edge out Hungary in a clash that started with a promise and pace. The opening 8 minutes reflected the Hungarian resilience as they clawed back to within one, but the momentum didn't last. Greece shifted gears, and in a rapid 128-second burst, Rafaela Saltamanica struck twice, while Aphrodite Bitsauku added another to her name, stretching the lead to 3. From that point onwards, they only widened the gap with authority. A 6-goal difference early in the third marked the widest margin between the semi-finalists. Greece had clearly outclassed their rivals at both ends of the pool. To their credit, Hungary mounted a spirited final push, netting 4 goals in as many minutes during the last quarter, but the comeback came too late. Greece stood firm, sealing their 5th consecutive win in Istanbul and punching their ticket to the final with a 15-12 as the final result. Interestingly, the second semi-final ended with the exact same margin, a 3-goal difference, as Spain secured their place in the grand final of this year's competition. But unlike previous matches, there was no easy ride. It was a hard-fought victory for the Spanish side, as Italy came out firing and showed no signs of stepping aside in the pursuit for the final spot. For most of the opening quarter, it was the Italians who set the pace and held the lead. A special credit goes to Margherita Minuto, who stunned with a rapid hat-trick in just over 2 minutes. Still, Spain held their nerve, erasing a 2-goal deficit to level the score just before the final first quarter whistle. A clear sign this wasn't going to be a walk in the park for a team that had cruised through much of the tournament. In fact, their first lead came only at the start of the second quarter, rarely seen so far. The score was tied twice more, and Italy had a chance to do it again, but a missed power proved costly. Spain clung to a narrow advantage going into half-time. The third quarter shifted gears completely. Instead of the offensive fireworks seen earlier, it turned into more of a defensive chess match, with each side managing just 2 goals. Everything came down to the final 8 minutes, but despite their grit, Italy couldn't flip the script and hand Spain a taste of their own medicine, la remontada. A missed extra player opportunity proved costly, giving Spain the spark they needed to double their lead. In the end, a late goal sealed the deal, 13-10 with just 61 seconds left on the clock. Another day, another chance to make history. The bronze medal match kicked off the final day drama as Hungary claimed the bronze after a dramatic tug-of-war with Italy. The Hungarians came out strong, setting the early tone with a 3-1 lead. But Italy didn't back down. They responded with a 3-0 surge to flip the script. The momentum continued to shift as Hungary hit back with 3 consecutive goals of their own. Still, Italy stayed in it, landing 2 impressive action goals late in the second quarter to bring the game level yet again at 6-6. As the third quarter kicked off, the intensity went up another notch. The Italian side retook the lead, but failed to convert their 2 power plays. And you know how the old saying goes, if you don't use your opportunities, your opponent will punish you for it. Hungary took full advantage of it, earning and converting back-to-back penalties to reclaim the lead at 8-7. Italy held scoreless for almost a full 7 minutes, finally broke through with a consecutive centre shots to swing the scoreline in their favour. 9-8 heading into the quarter-final, but the match was far from over. Neither side was done, the fight was still fierce. Hungary struck twice in quick succession to flip the game once more, making it 10-9 and shifting the pressure right back into the Italians. What followed was everything you'd expect from a bronze medal thriller. Yellow cards, red cards for assistant coaches, exclusions, penalty shots, long-range screamers, you name it, this match had it all. And when the chaos peaked in the final minutes, Hungary stood tall. Anna Svek's rocket from distance with 2 minutes 29 seconds left proved to be the final word for a 12-11 win. A match for the history books and a hard-earned bronze medal for the resilient Magyars. An additional award for the Hungarian Orsolya Horváth, crowned as the best goalkeeper of the tournament. The hunt for gold was on. 2 unbeaten powerhouses, 1 final battle, Greece versus Spain. After thrilling semi-final triumphs, it all came down to this. The stage was set for something truly special, given what we just witnessed just 24 hours earlier. The bar was raised pretty high. And Spain matched the level of expectations once again when it was needed the most. The first 8 minutes were the lone stretch of doubt. 5-4, goal after goal. The star of the show was Ona Gerardo Torres, who lit the spark with 3 goals, and she didn't stop there. Early in the second period, her goal pushed Spain's lead to +2, a margin the Greeks could never close. Even though Team Greece fought hard, cutting the deficit to only 1 goal of a difference on 2 occasions through precise penalty shot goals, it simply wasn't enough. Spain clicked into a higher gear, firing from every position, answering every challenge. Such as a buzzer-beating goal from the power play courtesy of Yvette Suller. By half-time, the scoreboard told the tale, 11-7 in favour of the Spaniards. The third quarter only confirmed what many water polo fans already sensed. Within 3 minutes, Spain put the game to bed, storming ahead to 14-8. The quality showcase didn't stop there. Greece pulled back within 4, but Spain responded with a clinical 3-goal burst, fast, precise, with such an attacking arsenal. At 17-10, the biggest gap yet, there was no room left for doubt, if there ever had been. Greece netted 3 in a row late on, but they were no more than a consolation. The only question left, how high would Spain run the score? The answer, 19-14. A fitting finish for a team powered by one of the world's most dynamic youth programs. A program that can now brag about back-to-back continental and world titles, just weeks after their under-20 boys were crowned in Zagreb. And at the heart of this golden run, Ona Gerardo Torres, the spark, the scorer, the MVP. 5 goals in the Grand Istanbul final and a tournament to remember.
Spain, the European champion. Greece finishing second and Hungary third.
After the girls finished their tournament, it was time for the boys to step up. For the first time, there was no need to adjust the field of play after the women's tournament, as the men's competition was also played in the 25-metre pool. The group stage already produced several very interesting games. The host of the tournament, Turkey, was in a very difficult group with Serbia, Spain and Hungary, But already on the first day of the tournament, they created a lot of problems for Serbia, who led the entire match, but never managed to create more than 2 goals of an advantage. It finished 11-10 for Serbia. Turkey gave all they had in the second round also, but Spain was stronger this time, winning the match 12-10. Group A finished with Serbia first with 3 wins, Spain second, Hungary third and Turkey fourth. The hosts were unlucky to lose their best player Yildiz through injury during the group stage. Group B consisted of water polo powerhouses Italy, Greece, Montenegro and Croatia. Italy won the group with 3 wins, Greece was second, Montenegro third and Croatia last. After the crossovers where all the favourites won, it was time for the quarter-finals, where spectators at the Beylikdüzü swimming pool saw several very intense games. Italy was dominant against Turkey and have won the match without problems. That cannot be said for the other 3 matches played on the day. Greece started well and was leading 2-0 after 5 minutes of play, but Hungary quickly came back before the end of the first quarter. Hungary managed to find composure, especially in the defence. It took Greece more than 12 minutes to score again, and by that time it was too late. Hungary built the lead and finished the game with a 13-9 win. One of the largest rivalries in water polo is between Serbia and Croatia, and it is the same even in the under-16 category. Croatia started well. They were leading 0-2. Serbia turned it into 3-2 before the end of the first quarter. It was 4-4 after the first 8 minutes. At the half-time whistle, Serbia is leading 8-7. But Croatia turns it in the third quarter. Their captain, Skajic, scored 3 goals, and before the last 8 minutes, Croatia was leading 10-11. They'd managed to keep the lead in their hands in the last quarter. The game finished 13-15, but with a big loss for the Croatians. Skajic was red-carded 20 seconds before the end of the match and couldn't play in the semi-final. The last match of the quarter-final was the best one. Spain entered the match as the favourite, but Montenegro was ready to fight. It was 4-4 after the first 8 minutes. The Montenegrins started to run away. Spain couldn't stop Duratovic and Raganovic, and after the end of the first half, it was 6-9 for Montenegro. Spain fought to come back and were close twice at a 10-11 and 13-14, but Montenegro endured and won it in the end for 14-18. It was time for the semi-finals then, Italy against Montenegro and Croatia against Hungary. Italy has shown the most in this tournament. They were the only one without a loss in this competition, but Montenegro had shown the day before that they can beat anybody. The match was in equilibrium for most of the time. Italy was leading after the first 8 minutes at the half, after 3 quarters, but they couldn't shake the Montenegrins, who were always coming back. 4 minutes before the end, Raganovic equalised to 12-12. A minute later, Chianese brought another lead for Italy. Montenegro had the final attack to equalise, but they didn't produce a shot and Italy was through. After the win against Serbia, Croatia had a bigger job in front of them, especially as Skajic, their captain and best scorer, was suspended. The match started with the Hungarians dominating. It was 7-3 mid-second quarter. Croatia came back, led by Burasin, who scored 3 unanswered goals from the left wing. Excellent play from Croatia in the third quarter gave them the lead for the first time. They have scored 4 goals in a row to lead 11-9 in the last quarter. It was not enough to beat Hungary. They equalised and it finished 11-11. After penalties, Hungary came through and they were calmer and have converted all 5 attempts. So came the day of the final. After all positions were distributed, Montenegro won the bronze after they won against Croatia. With 12-7 came the final. Italy against Hungary. Two teams that have shown the ability to play fast and with high level of organisation. The start of the game was so incredibly one-sided. Everything was decided in the first 9 minutes of play. It was 7-1 after Corilla's penalty. The game went in that way until the last whistle. Italy won 2012 and have won the right to celebrate their title of under-16 European champions. In the end, of course, come the individual prizes. It would be a shame not to mention them. You never know, some of these young boys could end up as the next stars of this sport. The best player, Antonio Chianesi from Italy. The best goalkeeper, Jakša Milanovic from Montenegro. The best scorer, Maximos Mantzouridis of Greece. And let's say it again for the end. The under-16 European Water Polo champions, Italy. This is the last episode of Water Polo World for this season. We hope you've enjoyed it. In case you missed something, here are some of the best parts from this season.
It has a few parts of the day that the game mode is on. At this moment, this is the, let's say, second stage of game on mode. We have a little relax after this, lunch and a little bit of relax, and then game mode on starts in full way. So at this moment it's still peaceful.
At the same time, in a hotel in Split, Balazsniecki and his players are relaxing with a nice tradition that Ferencváros has: coffee and snack time.
Yes, I can say, because some hours before the match we have snack time. We had the same snack time here. We had like last year, and after we will have meeting before leaving the hotel, and that's all. I have some special ritual before the match. I'm always shaving, so that's all I can say.
Attack! Ako je Del Toro, ideš ti. Ako je Del Toro, ideš ti.
3-1 for them. They score and no emotions for them. What is this? Bazd meg, itt nem lehet játszani. Mondtam, bajnokok ligájával a kurva életbe, pörögjünk már föl, bazd meg! Jó! Szilárd, gyere! Vince!
Isten, stoj! Zađere! Ruke!
Igen. From the beginning till the end. 2 meters! Most már hagyd el. Sorry. Please, watch the goal. 2 meters is okay, but no.
I don't know, feeling is all the way is the same, because you're always thinking one step in front. You're always thinking about what's next going to happen. What is next, what is opponent thinking about. You're always concentrated on which players are inside, because comparing to the startup position of their players, I'm changing my players. So many things are going through my head, but I don't feel any relaxation or maybe happiness. I don't feel anger. I'm trying to be calm all the time.
7-3 down, I called the timeout, and we had to change something also in defense, but especially in mentality. Maybe you will hear it that after the first quarter I told to the players, because I wasn't satisfied how we jumped into the water. For a coach, this is the great feeling. For a player, if he can score, if he can make the block, this is a great feeling. Yes, it was a great feeling when we could finish the second time out man up. And it was what I wanted, what I asked from the team, and that's why I was very happy at the end.
Piraeus, 4 clubs, 1 trophy, and 1 stage set for drama. In a tournament dominated for years by Sabadell and Olympiakos, this time the script flipped. Welcome to the European Aquatics Women's Champions League Final 4 tournament. Moving on to the gold medal match. Another all-Spanish showdown after 2023 when Sabadell downed Mataro. San Andreu had already dethroned Sabadell in the Spanish Cup, but this was different. This was the Champions League final. The biggest match in San Andreu's history, and early on it looked like a dream might slip away. Sabadell's Van der Kraats made sure the reigning champions were firmly in control right from the start with her hat-trick. With 2.4 seconds left, a type of shot you replay in slow motion over and over again. Queralt Anton sure did. Chaos in front of the goal. Somehow Anton got the ball and buried it into Laura Art's net from distance. The hero of the match, 9-8. It was the first time they took the lead in the whole game. Just when it mattered the most, the job was done in one of the most dramatic endings the Champions League has ever seen. La remontada, as the Spaniards would say. A 3-0 run in the last 3 minutes. Cue tears, screams, disbelief. History was made. Sabadell was knocked off their throne. The underdogs became legends in only their second Final Four appearance. A fairy tale ending, San Andreu, champions of Europe. Then came the main fight. Mighty Ferencváros against Novi Beograd.
Against the Serbian team, it's always difficult, but I hope we found it, and we can play what we want to play. So we will try to do our basic style to play, and we will see.
It's 6-on-6 in the water. They are all men. So I don't think that it's a huge difference between these two teams, especially in the game like this, in the final game.
Everything Novi Beograd did this year is based on great defence. That didn't change in the second quarter, and the results showed it, 5-5 at the half-time. It was goal for goal after that. Everything Novi Beograd tried, Ferencváros had a response. And a little bit of luck, as you do need in these situations. Manhurt scored with a lot of good fortune for 10-13. His shot was going out, but a lucky rebound steered it in the goal. It finished 13-11. Ferencváros are old and new champions of Europe, the first Hungarian team to defend the European title. It was time for the Fradi players and the officials to celebrate. That's all we've prepared for this episode. We'll see you again in October with all interesting stories we can find from the world of water polo. We'll see you then.